Okay, hi everyone. So today I'm doing a video. I decided to do a test deployment for the Battle of Cecora. This is a convention game I've been developing for the past year now. Um, I think I found two possible conventions I could go to run this game in September or October, but I don't know which one I'm going to be able to make yet. I think I'm going to use the Baroque rules. I've talked about that on the channel before, but if you're new here, this is what I've been working on for a while now. So this battle was between the Ottoman Empire and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. I'm not going to get into all the details, but on this video, but if you want to watch my other stuff, you can. But today I just was testing the deployment. Now I don't have all the figures completed yet. I still need to paint a bunch of Crimean Tatars. I may need to paint more Cossacks. I'll talk about what needs to be added here in a minute to do a good, I think, recreation, but this is what I have thus far. This is the Ottoman side. Since I had enough room on my floor now, I thought I would set it up on the floor, and that way I could show you all what I've got and kind of get an idea of how the battle was laid out. Now for this, I used the book of Michał Paradowski about the overall conflict that this was a part of. This was the Khurasan War, and let me zoom out for a minute. This is the really good book. Uses a lot of Polish research and sources that I can't read. Now Khurasan was kind of the campaign the next year, but Cecora was kind of the inciting campaign of the conflict. I based my setup here on the map he includes in the book. So go ahead and show that. And as you can see, I don't have like all the terrain yet, where I need, some river pieces for the Prut River. I could just get like blue paper or something, but I kind of want to do something a little bit better. There's the village of Cecora on the other side. I don't have all my terrain here yet, and I tried to match the deployment he has here. So I hope I did a decent job. I think I got it right, the position right. Positioning, I should say, correct. So here in the middle, I have set up Iskander Pasha's troops with, so these are mostly Spahi with lances. These are Ottoman cavalrymen. And then I have the stand with the red and gold Ottoman flag. That'll be Iskander Pasha's base. And then Paradowski depicts two cavalry wings on either side. So I put the lighter cavalry there and put the lancers in the middle. I am going to have to go through the Ottoman sources if I have time. Sometimes the chroniclers are good if they come from a military background about explaining the positioning of troops on the battlefield, although not always. There's two kind of chroniclers that discuss this campaign in some detail. There's Topçular Katibi Efendi, Abdülkadir Topçular Abdülkadir Efendi. Yeah, he writes a pretty detailed account of. He writes a general history of the Ottoman Empire, kind of in his lifetime and a little bit before, I think. But he gives a pretty good account of this campaign. And then the other Ottoman historian, Katip Çelebi, also writes about it, although he was more of like an intellectual. So I have to go through his account, but I looked through it, and it's also pretty thorough, giving like a account of the campaign. So And then here we have the Janissaries, and I have the Janissary officer stand attached to the unit. I decided to try to keep the infantry units consistent at like 4 stands wide as a frontage. But as you can see, the Janissaries are quite deep, so I'm going to have to look at the Baroque rules again and see how to handle that. And so all of these units that I'm panning over now will be in Iskender Pasha's command. Another thing with the Baroque rules is the rules say that, you know, the battalions have to be composed of a single type of unit. So, you know, just a cavalry or just an infantry battalion. What I might do for the Janissaries is the Janissaries will be their own battalion, and then all the cavalry will be under Iskender Pasha's command directly. Although I think he was also the overall commander. So, or what I could do is just say that the Janissaries can be commanded by either. One thing with the Baroque rules is when you activate a battalion, you can only activate one battalion per player turn, if I'm remembering the rules off the top of my head correctly. So I'll have to think about that. But then over here, this is supposed to be a Tatar command. I don't have all the Tatars painted, so these figures on the left-hand side are Khurasan Miniatures Nogai Tatars. They were a different group in the kind of Pontic steppe region, but their clothing is fairly similar to Crimean Tatars, so I put them out. I do have some of my Safavid Persian units out here to stand in for things I haven't finished yet or need to buy, but then we have, there's some Safavid cavalrymen I've used. They have the kolpaks and spears and bow, but I think they work okay as, you know, kind of Crimean Tatars, at least for my purposes. And we have an actual Tatar unit. Most of these figures are Fire and Sword from the Fire and Sword range by Wargame Poland, but I do have some Khurasan miniatures mixed in as well. And then Paradowski's map also has some infantry with this wing of Tatars, so I put some of these Ottoman musketeers down, although I actually need to reread the book, but I'm trying to just get the basic deployment set up just to get an idea of how much space I need, and that sort of thing. Over here in the back, there's another Ottoman command group that was smaller, according to the map. So this was, I think it's Yusuf Pasha. Yeah, Yusuf Pasha, and then he was positioned behind another Tatar commander, Khan Temir, probably Timur, but anyway. So I have one actual Tatar unit here, but then the other two are Safavids, again, just to stand in for now. I don't want to use some of the Safavid units in the real game because, like, the guys on the left-hand side are pretty armored, and they don't really look like Tatars should. Although some of them did wear mail coats, but they look a little different. Now, granted, probably most people I put this game on for wouldn't know that, but I'll know, and I don't want to do that. And then the command stand, that's actually another Safavid unit that's supposed to be Shah Abbas, but again, I just wanted to put somebody down to be a command unit. And then I will need to get a commander for this section here, but that's the Ottoman side. One thing I've noticed, so this was my first big 15mm project, is even with 15s, you know, if you do a big game like this, you still need quite a bit of space. So, you know, that's a factor to consider. I think this mat I made out of just like some felt from Hobby Lobby and spray paint is 5 by 7, I think. And again, that's without, and in terms of like the playable space on the battlefield, this is without having the river set up and without having some of the terrain, although there's really not much like rough or difficult terrain. The main tactical challenge, which was present in the real battle, apparently was there wasn't enough space for the lancers to kind of get up to speed and into combat, into contact, you know, as shock cavalry. So that's why I may, I'm going to probably do some kind of like penalty where, you know, if you get so many dice as like a heavy cavalry unit with lance, if you can't make a full move, your full movement value to into close combat, you know, you don't have enough momentum basically. So yeah, okay, now I will go over the Polish side. So get a little bit close, try to get a little bit closer. I hope the camera work is okay. So here we have the Polish middle, and already I think I need a lot more units. I thought I had enough Polish like lancers, pancerni, so if some Polish pancerni with chainmail and lances, and then there is one unit that's like a Lithuanian Petsy unit, but I'm going to use them as to represent, you know, Polish pancerni. And then I did include the hussars, some winged hussars, because I have them. But again, I need to reread the book to get a better idea of kind of the who was actually there and what kind of troops and stuff. But like I said, today's video is more just like a proof of concept with having to, you know, get an idea of how to set the game up on the table. Then we have the Cossack wagons that were protecting the flanks of the Polish camp, and each wagon train should have its own commander. Right now I only have one, so I have the actual Cossack wagon commander there, and then I think one of the wagons was commanded by some Western, by a Westerner, if I'm not mistaken. And I do have some late 16th, early 17th century European, Western European troops I bought from Khurasan, so I'll probably take one of the command stands from that and you know, use that as the other wagon commander. Then on the left flank of the Poles, they had some infantry, so I have 2 lines of Polish infantry there. And then I don't have the Polish camp set up. I do have some tents, but I don't have them set up. But these are to represent, these Cossack skirmishers are just to represent the infantry that was protecting the camp. And according to the map, there was, I think they had some kind of like stockade set up, like, or spikes, some kind of barrier. So I'm going to have to I'm going to have to reread the book. But like I said, I was just trying to get an idea of how to set this game up on a table. And then there was a screening force on the flank, or another flank force made up of cavalry. I may shift like 2 of these units over to the center to fill out the Polish center some more, because there's a Polish light cavalry with spears, those are Khurasan figures, and then there's some Polish Wallachian or Cossack style infantry, or cavalry, excuse me, those are the guys in blue, and then a unit of the Polish Wallachian style cavalry there. So I'm trying to, do my best to represent the forces that were there, but I think sometimes with wargaming you kind of have to make compromises between something being historically accurate as much as possible, and trying to make it a playable game, and also one where I can be in budget for buying miniatures and stuff. So all right, this is the setup for the battle. Like I said, there's still some things that I need to work on, probably more than I anticipated actually, now that I've gotten it all set up and I can see what I have. And mostly in the Polish side actually. So now I did paint up the Transylvanians, but I'm still not sure if they actually took part in the battle, or they were just like part of the Ottoman army, protecting the camp or something. So that's another factor I have to look into. And I'll read the book again, the Paradowski book again, and look at the Ottoman sources as well, when I have time to do that. But well, I hope at least this was visually interesting for you all. Do one last overview of the battlefield. And then the last thing is how to divide this up for multiple players. So now that I've seen, what I have, I think what I'll just do is divide it between like a middle, for the Ottomans at least, maybe divide it between right, middle, and left. And then for the Polish side, do the same thing. But if I do that, I may want to add more infantry, because I don't think it would be that fun to just have like a player just with two lines of infantry basically. And I do have more Polish infantry that I need to paint from Khurasan, so I can add them there. Or what I could do is give this flank, give that player the command of the wagon train and the infantry, and then the center player would just command the center cavalry, and then maybe the camp infantry, and then the left flank, or the Polish right flank, looking at it from the left, but give the left flank commander that wagon train and the others. So yeah, like I said, this was kind of good for me to make this video also, just so I can see what still needs to be done. And I still have quite a lot of units to work on actually. I am actively painting the Tatars, so they'll be done soon. I've been pretty diligent about that, and then I'll have more to hopefully more figures for the battle. If I do commit to one of these conventions, that will give me a deadline for painting. And realistically, I think right now I would probably just want to add like 2 more Polish cavalry units, because I could just get a few packs from Khurasan or something to make 2 more units. Plus their Polish cavalry looks really good. So I mean, their miniatures in general look good. And then do the infantry that I have that just need to be painted and based for this side. And then, like I said, I could kind of take like one of these units off and put it in this as part of the center. Now for the Ottomans, I think I've got most of what I need. I don't think I need to add too much more other than filling in the Tatars. There were more Crimean Tatars there than I had thought. So yeah, I'll need to work on that as well. Okay, this was kind of a long one, but anyway, this is the project. I hope you guys liked looking at it, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Thanks.